my projects on this channel is to teach Japanese through anime and songs and games and other entertainment mediums. But what is a better way to learn Japanese? Through entertainment or through traditional Japanese classes? I'm going to go over the pros and cons of each. So first, the pros of learning Japanese through anime and games and other entertainment mediums. Number one, it's fun! So you're more likely to stick with it. If you're anything like me, you can't read textbooks or books that are nonfiction because you fall asleep. If you're learning through things that interest you anyway, like anime or songs or games or other things, you can be doing something fun and learning at the same time. So you learn without even trying. So the second pro of learning Japanese through entertainment is that the seiyuu, the voice actors in anime and games, they have really good diction, like abnormally good diction, and they'd have to. This is also true of American and, other language voice actors. They are vocally trained. I personally also have gotten many remarks from people all over the world who watch these videos that they like the way I speak. I am very easy to understand. That's probably because I too have had a lot of instruction on how to speak, having a strong theatrical background. The third pro of learning Japanese through anime, and I know that this was a very huge part of my learning, is that if you memorize the catchphrases that come up in a lot of your favorite series, those make really good model sentences. So a model sentence is just a sentence that you memorize, and you memorize what each word in the model sentence means. So then you can replace a noun with another noun, or a verb with another verb, or an adjective with another adjective to make a variety of sentences. Like, for example, the very first sentence that Japanese people learn when they're learning English is, "This is a pen." That's their first model sentence. So from that sentence, "This is a pen," now they know how to say, "This is a chair, this is an elephant, this is a camera, this is a computer, this is a bed." If all they have to do is learn how to say a bunch of nouns, and they can say, "This is a blank." So in the same way, if you learn the catchphrase, "Tsuki ni kawatte oshioki yo," well, I can say, "In the name of the moon, I'll punish you," but I can also say, "In the name of my camera, I'll punish you," or "In the name of this bed, I'll that. Anyway, you get the idea. And the fourth pro about learning Japanese through anime or games or other entertainment mediums is you can either turn the subtitles off or ignore them for hard mode. And like with games also, that's really nice that they have, like, you can do the dub track and see the subtitles, and you can also like have the Japanese track with the English subtitles, or you can have the Japanese track, no subtitles sometimes. And with anime, even if you can't turn the captions or subtitles off, you can just ignore them, just like cover the bottom part of your screen with some post-it notes or just like ignore it. But the subtitles are kind of like training wheels. You can read them like 100% at the start, and then as you get better and better, you can kind of like initially not read them, and then if you miss something, glance down, that word, and then look up again. So now the cons of learning Japanese through anime, games, and other media. And con number one is anime characters have really weird ways of talking. So if you have found this channel, chances are you are at least aware of that Japanese man Yuta's channel, and recently he's been doing a lot of videos that look at contemporary anime, and he analyzes the way the characters speak and tells you like whether it is like authentic, like the way real Japanese people speak, or if it's just anime cartoon speak, basically. And quite often, because anime characters are larger than life, they are caricatures, they are extremes of like actual people, they are going to speak a little extreme. They're going to use particles in ways that Japanese people wouldn't use them. They're going to use vocabulary words that Japanese people wouldn't necessarily use. They're going to end their sentences in ways that Japanese people just don't do. So there is the danger, if you only learn your Japanese through anime and such, that you're going to wind up sounding like a cartoon character. And con number two, and this is a big one that I get, and another reason why I'm doing this channel, is you get a lot of misconceptions about what life is like in Japan without realizing that these are misconceptions. So a lot of anime, particularly the slice of life variety, they tend to be very accurate about what daily life is like in Japan, but there are still like many ways in which, okay, that wouldn't happen, okay, that wouldn't happen, okay, that character is exaggerated, okay, that character is exaggerated. Just like think of any TV show, teen drama or whatever in your own country that's produced in your own country, in your own language. Just think about it and think like, would that actually happen? Would that character actually be that extreme? Would that have actually happened? And chances are there's a lot of exaggerations in there. That's what makes it an interesting story, that it's larger than life. But as a result of this, a lot of anime fans get a lot of misconceptions about Japanese life based off of anime. And this goes both ways. Like when I was living in Japan, I was in a rural area of northern Japan, and a lot of people had misconceptions of about what life in America was like. One person thought that everyone had a gun. They thought I had a gun. Like, I don't have a gun. My third host mom thought, like when we were talking about bagels one day, and I was like, oh yeah, I like a good bagel, like with just cream cheese on it. That's how I like my bagels. I'm white. I like them with just cream cheese. And now if I were from, the East Coast, New York, I'd probably prefer them with lox and onions and like other stuff like that. But I was an 18-year-old white chick from California, so cream cheese. But my third host mom, like, she insisted that I was wrong about my own culture and was like, oh, but no, I saw on TV, they put like ham and cheese in their bagels and eat it like a sandwich. I'm like, okay, some people do, but not everybody does that. So, you get misconceptions in the same way about Japanese life and culture, even though you don't know that you have these misconceptions. And con number 3, and I ran into this a lot in my early days, when I was just starting out learning Japanese and was a huge otaku, is that if it's localized well, if the translation is localized really well, you'll hear a word that you think you know, and then you won't see it in the subtitles, and then you'll think that it's mistranslated, or you'll be really confused. I was on Japan Station recently. It's a podcast. Go listen to it. There's a link in the video description. And we talked about, there was this word aho, which is sort of like Kansai Ben for like dummy, moron, idiot. But that's the thing, there's a lot of synonyms for it. So sometimes I'd see it subtitled as moron, sometimes I'd see it translated as dumb shit, sometimes I'd see it translated as like stupid or something like that. And it was like, well, what does it actually mean? You're messing up and mistranslating it. Or maybe like I would hear so shita ho ga ii, and when it's spoken really quickly, so shita ho ga ii yo, it can sound the a part of shita and then ho together. Shita ho, it sounds like a ho. So to the untrained ear, or to someone who's just learning Japanese, you might think that you hear words that you know, but it's not the actual word that you think it is, and then you get confused and you think it was a mistranslation. So basically the problem is you know just enough Japanese to get yourself in trouble, but again, you don't know what you don't know, and that can be a problem. And that brings me to con number 4, and this is something I still struggle with today. If you don't learn Japanese like 100% from textbooks, just like start to finish in sequence, you're gonna wind up having a lot of blind spots. And as I said, this is true of me. I started learning Japanese like concurrently, lessons in high school and watching a bunch of anime and reading a bunch of manga, but then I went to Japan for a year, and then during so I was just kind of reading a bunch of manga, watching a bunch of TV, talking to a bunch of people, so I kind of have this hodgepodge of like half official textbook learning, and then like for the intermediate and advanced portions of my learning, it was mostly just exposure and self-taughtness. And as a result of that, I have a lot of blind spots. Like I know some very, very advanced vocabulary that like even some Japanese people don't know. I can read some really, really advanced kanji that even some average Japanese people can't read. But then yet there might be like a vocabulary word that most people in a traditional Japanese class setting might learn in their second year that I don't know. Or there'll be some grammar rule that most people will learn in their first or second year, and like I internalized it a different way, so I don't know necessarily 100% the ways in which it's officially taught. When I was first getting into anime and learning Japanese, I was watching a lot of Sailor Moon, and there's a lot of just archaic words that just aren't used, like shoujo, for example, otome. Those words come up a lot in Sailor Moon, and they're just not really used. But again, you don't know what you don't know, so you're going to have all of this like random advanced level knowledge, and yet you'll be missing a lot of beginner and intermediate level knowledge in between. So in conclusion, you should be learning Japanese from as many different sources as possible. You should be learning it from anime, you should be learning it from textbooks, you should be learning it from official classrooms, you should be learning it from tutors, you should be learning it from having conversations with Japanese people, you should be learning it from my videos, you should be learning it from Misa's videos and Yuta's videos and Japanese from Zero's videos, and there are so many other resources out there. So the point is, learn from many different sources and you're gonna get a really well-rounded experience.